What's going on, guys? This is Kaisho. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So for our video today, we are going to cover OCG, Metagame Report, and decklist reviews from the remainder of October up to the first few days of November. So we are going to cover pre and post BPRO, and this is going to be the Southeast Asian version of our Metagame Report, which is going to cover minor regions in Southeast Asia, namely Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and other countries here in Southeast Asia. So without further ado, let's start. So moving on first, we do have, right off the bat, we do have a very interesting deck here. We do have Jura Dino. So Jura is most known as an engine that is blended with Fire King, which was popularized by Dinkaboy on the TCG regions. But on OCG, it sees more play as a Dino archetype support. And I think Jurak as a deck feels really strong when you are able to combo off when going first and you're not struck with Maxi or Flawless. Now you're able to dish out some good amount of interruptions like Baron de Fleur, Dolka on your board, and also the turn 0 way of bombing the field using the Jurak cards now, which is going to be an insane interruption for it. And next we have Solfa Cord. So this is Solfa Cord with Pendulum Magician, quite different from the usual Solfa Cord K9, which was a meta deck on the past few months, yeah, on the first few days of the support of Solfa Cord, and K9 that time was obviously still full power, no? But right now, people have pivoted on Pendulum Magician builds, which is going to cater more outlets to go first and, of course, to go big on your combos. And next, the Vryzil Onomats. So this is still a meta deck in my own opinion. I think many people have already discarded or neglected the fact that this deck might be still a meta relevant deck now, because Ryzel Mitsurugi are far more better than this. But yeah, I think the Ryzel Onomat still has the right amount of consistency and being able to maximize also level 5 monsters and rank 5 monsters on their toolkit on the extra deck like the Valon, for example. And moving on next, we do have Paduka weekly tournament. We do have Dracotail here, Dracotail Magistus. So pretty standard Dracotail decklist here. He just plays the Magistus as a way to improve the ceiling of the deck, and also running Skill Drain on the side deck, which is going to be prevalent on you when you can float on your high attack monsters on the field and just beat down the opponent from that. Next we have Odayon. So this deck is very popular in Southeast Asian regions, mainly to the fact that it was more budget than your usual meta decks like the Yami Mitsurugi, and Ryzel Mitsurugi and other stuff, no? It is much more budget and it does play really well under Maxi and Fualas. And this is probably the best asset of the deck when being considered in OCG territory. And next we have K9, Vanquishol. So this deck was nerfed by the ban list with Razen going into 1, Yokul going into 1, and Izuna going into 2. And those are significant hits towards the Vanquishol K9. But it didn't stop the deck from performing. It was still able to perform quite decently and being able to top tournaments on locals and big events as well now. And I think this deck is still not dead and still a meta deck contender up till this point. And moving on next, we do have Yuking Malaysia, tournament in Malaysia. We do have Mitsurugi pure version. Yeah, I think this is how I want to play Mitsurugi if I'm just going to play Mitsurugi as a deck right now. I would opt for a Mitsurugi pure. Not only that, the deck is lesser prone to breaking with some Garnes and other extenders, no? Like the Mitsurugi Ryzel and Mitsurugi Yami. This deck is very balanced and has a good amount of hand traps on the deck, which is very evident on this deck list. Triple Impulse, Triple Draw, which is going to help you against the other meta deck matchups. Next, you have Lunalite. So this deck was kinda overshadowed by the previous meta decks that are surfacing in this meta game. And all in all, I think Lunalite still has a decent spot in this meta game, but they don't have the amount of sheer power that they used to have when they used to have Appaloosa from before, and of course, the copies of Liger Dancer are still on R3 and it was not touched by the ban list or whatsoever, no? So it is still a potent turn 1 board, a towering presence that has a Regeki pop effect on its own. And next we have Archmage. So very interesting Archmage here. It is running very audacious tech cards. Like it is running Magician tech cards here, and it's also running the Fusion Trap, Necrofusion I believe, or Diffusion, I forgot the name. But yeah, it aims to diffuse your monster probably. And next, we do have the barrier on the main deck. I think I have also thought of that way to prevent running into Mitsurugi and Yami, of course, locking out Ritual and Synchro, which is going to be pivotal on securing your turn 1 or rather game 1 victory on this type of deck. And next we have Kultun. So Kultun is definitely a deck to look out for in Southeast Asian regions. Many people have already invested their resources into buying this deck, and the results from the bigger regions are not impacting them. No, it wasn't able to hold them down. They still believe that this deck is potent and powerful on its own right, and arguably so. I think that is the correct mindset when you play Kultun. You should believe that this deck has a lot of things to offer for you, and with the amount of hand traps that you can run on the deck, and still be able to interrupt the opponent going second with those ogre bells, no, which is going to be really splendid against the best decks like Yami and Mitsurugi. And moving on next, we do have KGS Card Shop Tournament. We do have Onomats here. So Onomats as a pure pure base deck. It is not running Ryzeal, and Onomats is definitely one of the most explosive decks that you can run into in this metagame. People have no idea. If they don't have a match up against this deck, you would be surprised on how much this deck can play around certain hand traps, and it was able to play Imperms, Veilers, Ogres, Bells, no? The only problem would be the Maxi and Falls, of course, sometimes Nibiru, but they still have turnarounds for Nibiru. So I'm really excited whether the Onomats would still perform without the Ryzeal, no? Especially Ryzeal are in a very tricky situation where it can or it might get hit once again on the following ban list this coming December. And probably Konami would try to salvage the Mitsurugi, and the aftermath or the sacrificial lamb for the Ryzeal Mitsurugi variant would be the Ryzeal itself, no? So Mitsurugi can be untapped by the upcoming ban list. Next, we do have another KGS card shop tournament. So we do have Regenesis here. So Regenesis as a deck feels very complete in a sense that it might be able to make a good board going first with 2-3 interruptions, and also the deck is spacious enough to be running going first floodgates like skill drain. There can be only one, and sometimes power sink stone as well. And also it has some way to play going second cards on the main deck as well, like we are seeing here running Ultimate Slayer and Super Poly. Sometimes it does play Nadir, no, especially with the new support of Dogmatica. I think it was able to fairly contend with this metagame. Yeah, very basic deck, quite budget as well. So many people does have a familiarity and also leniency towards this kind of deck. Next to the Order of the Duelist and Albay, shoutouts to our friends in Bicol. The Mitsurugi from Jomar, champion. Quite standard. Yeah, it is running triple Lancea on the side deck, which is very, very reasonable because Malice are still kinda one of the top 3 best decks in this metagame. So it's just logical for you to play Lancea. Next we have Angelo James. So the reason why Southeast Asian regions differs a lot from bigger regions was people are very inclined on playing these balance type of mid-range decks, no? And some of them like Voices Voice, Blue Eyes White Dragon decks, and other control-ish mid-range decks, no, that are power creep in a sense in major regions, but it is still performing really well on the Southeast Asian counterparts. And I think it really dwells down on the mastery of the pilot and people that are running the deck for quite a year or a half a year already, no? So it's pretty hard to ditch your deck when you are that familiar and you have the amount of mastery to pilot the deck on higher levels. And next, we have Mark Patrick Yummy. So it is still running the Engage with Hornet Thrones on the main deck. And with the Orcus Mitsurugi from Joshua. So triple Droll and triple Flawless on the main deck. And also triple Impulse as well, no? Quite decent. And moving on next, we do have another Order of the Duelist in Albay tournament. We do have Champion Mark Patrick Burton running Meowls, which is another way to counter the Malice apart from the Lancea. Next, we do have Alexis Dean, Orcus Mitsurugi. So Orcus is still a viable deck in Southeast Asian regions. It might not be a contending deck on bigger regions like South Korea, Japan, China, no? They're not able to materialize enough on those regions. But Orcus definitely is still a deck to look out for in Southeast Asian countries. Next, we have Angela James, Mangoshoal K9. So it is running, Prosperity on the main deck and triple Flawless, one Red Sea as well. And we have Kenji, Sky Striker. Oh, it is running Bestial Magnamut and Ruiz Worm. Quite interesting. It is not your ordinary going second Sky Striker. It is a much more going first oriented Sky Striker build. And moving on next, we have Kedri Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG ranking tournament with Mitsurugi, Finsmith, with Sinful Spoils. Wow. So technically engine deck, no? Yeah, 4 engines in one deck. Next, we have Archmage with Doomsday. So the mixture of both decks that are kinda susceptible enough towards Droll, Nibiru, and other popular hand traps, no, like Flawless. But yeah, very surprised that he managed to top this tournament. But I can already see the synergy between the two. Of course, mid-use are just global on this archetype. No, you're able to use the mid-use into various ways. Running into the Doomsday line or Archmage line, doesn't matter. You're able to do both. And next, we have Runic. Third place Runic. We lose one turn on the main deck. Another interesting Floodgate choice. Apart from Power Sing Stone. And next, we have Malice. So, very popular deck in Southeast Asia. I think Malice is still a very reputable deck and respectable deck, no, all over the world. And even on TCG regions, it is still a deck to be respected. And the recent regionals was won by Malice as well, no? And even the YCSJ Nagoya was won by Malice as well. So, yeah, it definitely spells the end for Malice. This is probably the last format that they are a top contender. Moving on next to the Rikies Toys and Hobby Shop. You do have, Necros Mitsurugi. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting take on Mitsurugi. So Necros has hand drip, I believe. And wow, it can run the Blazer Dragon as well. Yeah, probably. So this deck can literally out-negate you, no? Right off the bat, from the Mitsurugi, from the Galaxy, from the Arclight, and the Cosmic Blazer, no? Wow, really interesting stuff here. And moving on next, we do have another Rikies Toys and Hobby Shop tournament. We do have, oh wow, K9 Horus with Finsmith. This is what I want to see in Southeast Asian reports, no? The moment that I click this blew up and open the Uncrowned Kings local metagame report, I already anticipate that we are going to cover some of the most spiciest deck lists all over the world, no? We do have a very good innovative attitude in Southeast Asia where people just tends to adopt rather than copying the best available decks or the best performing deck lists across the major regions, no? People are not spiral into that idea. They are very potent on innovating their own deck lists and playing these different ways, no? Like we are seeing here. Finsmith Horus K9. Next to the Evo Community Tournament, we do have Andika. We do have Odion. Triple Gordon Schneider on the extra rather side deck. And next to the Rafty, Malice, with Code of Soul on the main deck. And next to the Orcus from Petrus, Yeah, Orcus Mitsurugi once again. And we do have Fajar. We do have Shining Sarcophagus Finsmith here, which is another deck that used to be performing deck, no? But sadly, it wasn't able to cope and adapt towards the modern metagame. Next, we have Duelist Devata Tournament. We have Kultun once again from Eka. Triple Droplet on the main deck and Triple Gravity Collapse. Probably your go-to option as you're going first card on the side deck. Next, we have Photo. Adit. Evil Twin. Running Triple Dark Ruler No More on the side deck and Triple Solemn Judgment as well. Of course, you wanna protect your Hiking Caesar and your Rage, you know, on the field. And next, we have Rhino. Malice. Standard, yeah. Running Rivalry on the side deck. And next, we have Rikas and Avalon. Plants deck with Tyrion package. Only running one Lone Fire. I think this is the way to go. When you wanna play your Lone Fire on this deck, people are just accustomed on running one Lone Fire. Next, we have Duelo Antique in Visayas. Shoutouts to our friends in Visayas. We have another Evil Twin here with Sprite this time. No Finsmith, yeah. So straight out of the Tactical Try deck, it was able to top this tournament. Really interesting result, and is also running link outlets, no, on the extra deck, generic link outlets. And yeah, no Little Knight. Yeah, no Little Knight on it. Wow, quite huge. So he's just banking on the Nightmare Unicorn. Next, we do have Brian Marzona. We do have Megalith. Yeah, Megalith. Running double Super Poly in the main deck, so why not? You're able to do that because of the spacious extra deck slots for your deck from Brian. Next, we do have another Duelo Antique tournament. We do have Irish, Unlayaw. We do have Lunalight, Triple Eclipse on the main deck. No Flawless and no Impulse on it, but yeah, you managed to top the tournament. And also, interesting, no Little Knight as well. Running Cross Ship and Unicorn on the extra deck. It wasn't able to utilize those generic hand traps and extra deck outlets on it. And next, the Vrans Gaite. Orcus, pure version. Oh, it's running Danger on the main deck. Yeah, the Danger rank level 8 rather. And next, we do have Iloilo seasonal tournament. Shoutouts to our friends in Iloilo. We do have Malice here as first place. One deck lockdown, one ASF on the side deck, and DDG as well. Next, we do have Haril, our friend from Kaidulis. We have Blue Eyes Primite on his topping performance. Running Kaiser on the main deck. Oh, he's also running Chaos Max. Wow, this is very interesting. Also running Winter Cherries. I don't see Snatchy here or Altarion. Oh yeah, probably there's a bunch of Blue Eyes on their local scene. So he played Winter Cherries to counter the mirror match. Wow, interesting. Yeah, very ingenious tech from Haril. Next, the oh yeah, speaking of the devil, yeah, probably that's the tech option for this tournament. They are running more Blue Eyes, and oh my goodness, it is running 3 of the vanilla Blue Eyes here. Oh yeah, of course, it's running Kaibaman as well. And moving on next, we do have another tournament in Iloilo. We do have May OCG ranking tournament. So this is a unofficial nationwide ranking tournament where locals across the Philippines was playing tournaments to determine which topping duelists have the highest ranking points across the season. No? And we do have from Uriel, Ray, Dolorfino, Yummy, Nemesis package as well, running the Thunder Dragon Colossus. Next to the VSK9 from Spencer Jones Go. Double Phantasme on the side deck. Rightfully so against... Oh, wow! Is running double Skullmeister on the main deck. Very spicy. Next we have another Shining Sarcophagus from Nel Pendon. Double Regeki on the side deck. And next we have Synchron from Anthony Generic Apelado. So probably is the only successful Synchron player recently on the Philippines platform. He's still running the deck, no? This tournament was, yeah, as October. And moving on next, we do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming Ranking Tournament. We do have Gem Knight from Peter. So this is the pure Gem Knight going second deck that was topping recently on Japan. And didn't surprise me, I think I have seen these a couple of times already on major regions. But yeah, this is probably the way to go when you are running on a budget, or probably you don't want to play Finsmith or other engines on the Gem Knights, and you just wanna run the pure Gem Knights. And yeah, going second is probably the best approach right now. Next is the Punk Psychic. So good stuff from Adrian. Double Super Poly, Triple E-Tele, and no Little Knight. Yeah, no Little Knight on the extra deck. Just run the Lambda and of course the Delta and Gamma on the main deck. And oh wow, third place Ubel. Oh my goodness, it is not even running Finsmith, no, this is just pure Ubel. So Ubel with a couple of hand traps on it, and Super Poly of course, very powerful card on Ubel. And moving on next, we do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming Ranking Tournament. The Dracotail with Lad package from Alfred. Wow, interesting. The only deck that was resurfacing using the Lad was the Dragon Maid, but recently some people are opting to play Dracotail with Lad, of course, to branch out Omni-Negate threats on your board. Next is Louis Yami. Double Purge on the main deck, only one Engage and one Drones. And next is the Radiant Typhoon from Alexis John Season, running double Droplet and double MST. Oh yeah, he's running Finsmith as well. And we do have 4th place Ignister Matmech. Cannot really see too much the deck list. Yeah, it is quite blurry. But yeah, running Signet Mining probably just a way to boost the consistency of an already consistent Ignister deck. And also running Contaxi and Red Sea on the side deck. Next is the any member do release ranking tournament in Indonesia versus Bimalis from David. Triple Eclipse this time. And next is the Sky Striker once again. Running Jamming Waves on the main deck. Yeah, probably a way to out the Floodgates. And yeah, it is running the Fall and the Virtues quick play on it. Next is the K9. K9 Crystron, yeah. I thought it is just pure K9, but yeah, it is K9 Crystron. Running Soul Release. Oh wow, Soul Release on the side deck. Probably it is a counter towards Yami and Dracotail. And even Mr. Gino can be stifled with this card. And next is the another Iloilo seasonal tournament. The Blue Eyes Primite from Anthony Generic Apelado with Synchro Rumble on it. And next is the Archmage from Machine Alter. Triple evenly matched on the main deck. Rightfully so. It is a very strong card against rogue environments and formats where the best decks are not really omnipresent all the time, no? You're going to run into various random decks along the way. And next we have another Iloilo ranking tournament. We have another Finsmith Mitsurugi from Spencer Jones Go. Lava Golem on the side deck. Okay, not too shabby. And we have Silverho. Yeah, I believe that's the correct way. Archmage. It is running Darkhold, one of my favorite techs on Archmage, it was able to pop your own deity or patron, no? And next, we have Mermaid Atlantean from Anthony. Running, yeah, Spooky Dogwood on the side. Interesting stuff. And next, we have another Uriel Ray Delafino top with Radiant Typhoon this time. With Finsmith as well, yeah. Next, we have Duelist Tepen Samarinda in Indonesia. Ranking tournament. The champion, Yogi, Yummy. And next, we have Hazem, Malice. Main decking ASF, no, but is not running the Gryphon Lock, yeah. Just main decking the Fragrance. Next, the Hardy, Kultun, once again. Pretty standard deck list. Running the Manadium, tech options. And next, the Andra. Yummy, once again. Running Red Reboot on the side deck. Next, we have Azrak tournament in the Philippines, the very popular online tournament ladder in this country. Champion would be our friend in Kaido Willis and my teammate Steven Gerard Vidangkul, Kultun once again. So yeah, Kultun is still a very powerful deck in Southeast Asian regions. People haven't forgotten how this deck can fare against this metagame, and of course, just throw barrage of hand traps on your opponent, going second, and you also have turn 0 plays now, which is another factor on this deck. And next, the White Forest Azamina from Banjo, our friend as well from Kaido Willis. So he's running Droll, 1 Veiler on the main deck, bunch of 1-offs, and yeah, it's running Sinful Spoils package as well. And yeah, that sums up our OCG Metagame report and decklist reviews. If you found this video informative or helpful, please do consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.